The Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul press conference, which had been all talk until now, suddenly turned chaotic when tempers flared. What started as verbal shots quickly became physical, throwing the entire event into disorder.
No will definitely come and join us.
There's some pushing going on.
Security guards pushing each other as well up there. That we don't want to see. There's a couple of
we don't want to see a brawl there.
We don't want to see. Hey.
Anthony Joshua made it clear that he is not here for hype or entertainment. Through his words and body language, he showed this fight is about real competition. He stressed that this is not an exhibition and that he will not hold back. For Joshua, this fight is about proving levels, where experience, discipline, and power matter more than publicity. His message was simple: this matchup is being taken very seriously.
I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it. And
the mood shifted when Joshua spoke about respect. Tension filled the room as he warned that disrespect would no longer be tolerated. He made it clear that this fight will not be taken lightly and compared the situation to the Francis Ngannou fight, suggesting the outcome could be just as brutal. His warning was calm but firm, leaving no doubt about what he plans to bring on fight night.
Carrying boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it, because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside.
Eddie Hearn stepped in to address the chaos surrounding the press conference. He explained that Jake Paul understands the punishment he could face once the fight starts. According to Hearn, there is no turning back now. Too much money and promotion are already invested. Jake must now accept the reality of his decision and face the consequences of stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua.
No, I mean, look, they've spent.
Ludicrous it is that they're fighting.
Netflix have spent a lot of money. MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one. And he knows that, and this fight's happening, and that they think. Look, one thing I'll say is this: if there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now, right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, the time comes.
Despite the warnings, Jake Paul's confidence remains strong. At the press conference, he continued to claim that he is the better boxer, arguing that Joshua's edge only comes from experience and record. Jake sees himself as misunderstood and believes his skills are being overlooked. Whether confidence or stubbornness, he clearly does not view himself as the underdog, even with the massive experience gap.
And how has the approach in terms of strategy and preparation been for this fight? Because most of your fights, since you don't have as much of experience as your opponents, you've made up with youth and size. For this one, you're fighting somebody that's prime, somebody that's bigger than you. So how has that change been?
Yeah, on paper, the cards are stacked against me. But really, in terms of boxing, I'm a better boxer than AJ, which is like hilarious to state, but he's got 2 left feet. He's stiff. If I was his coach, I'd put him in a dance class first before trying to box. And really just bringing in the right sparring partners to help me prepare so that I can get looks that are similar to him, and that's really just been the strategy, but I'm just going to go in there.
Insight from Alexander Usyk's camp reveals important changes in Anthony Joshua's preparation. After the Usyk fight, Joshua was advised to adjust and evolve his style. He agreed and joined their team to improve movement, ring intelligence, and overall control. The goal is not to rebuild Joshua, but to sharpen what he already has. The camp believes this version of Joshua will look noticeably improved against Jake Paul.
Talk about you need AJ, you need something change, and okay, come and train in camp and see what we do. And Jay, come. Now we're here and support.
Weight has become another major talking point ahead of the fight. Joshua is managing his weight differently than before, but those close to his camp say he still looks strong and powerful. Wade points out that Joshua's knockout power remains fully intact. Footage from training supports this, showing that the weight adjustment has not weakened him. Instead, it appears to have improved his movement while keeping his strength, making him even more dangerous for Jake Paul.
A miscalculation from Jake's team. I think that their best chance was having AJ be a bit more stagnant and not being able to move as fluidly and as well, so that Jake could be a bit faster, so that he could be a bit more elusive, and that AJ would have a harder time tracking him. Not to say that, you know, at a certain point he wouldn't get him, but that would be the idea. The bigger, way slower AJ at like 260 or whatever, 255 plus. What Jake is saying, though, doesn't make any sense to me. When he's like, oh, I think it was a miscalculation for them to agree, I assume is what he means, for AJ to get to 245 so that he's lighter, all that, that's a I think it was a miscalculation, that's a disadvantage to AJ's power somehow. AJ's not stripping away muscle to get to 245. He's just not as bulky, heavy as he normally would be. And AJ has fought at this weight before in the Usyk fights, as Jake pointed out. And this is not something that took away from AJ's power. The reason he didn't beat Usyk wasn't because he didn't have power. Usyk was just better. Point blank period, he's the best in the world. Jake is not Usyk. Jake can take bits and pieces of Alexander Usyk, but he's not that. And AJ's power will still be devastating at 245, just like it would be at 255 or 260. Him taking that 10 pounds away and by the way, it wasn't like he did a cut to try to make the weight. He is that weight right now. A lighter version, a more speedy, compact version of AJ, he's still going to hit like a Mack truck. He didn't just lose all that muscle and all that ability to turn punches over. That's still going to be there. And if Jake thinks that AJ needs to be 260 for AJ to knock him out, that's also fucking crazy. Now, Jake says something even more insane to me than the fact that, oh, AJ made a miscalculation getting to 245. He says that his skills are better than AJ. And I just don't know where the evidence of that is. Like, I understand Jake is confident in himself, but point to me a fight where Jake showed better skill. I don't see it. And again, Jake is always telling us how he never gets to show the
True Jordy explains why this fight is especially dangerous for Jake Paul. Jake had been preparing for a much smaller opponent, like Gervonta Davis, before suddenly switching to Anthony Joshua. This late change forces a complete reset in strategy. Joshua's size, strength, and pressure change everything. Fighting someone this big is not just about taking harder punches, but about handling physical control. Changing plans so close to fight night raises serious questions about Jake's readiness.
Literally millions of people wrong just to get to that level, just to show that bravery. Fair fucks to Jake Paul. Now let's get real. Now it's time to get really serious, because this is worrying. This I think the way that he has gone about this fight, it's just wrong. The fact that he was training for Tank Davis matter of weeks beforehand, who's a literal midget, sorry, little person, I don't want to and then you go from that to fighting one of the biggest, strongest, hard-hitting heavyweights in world boxing. It smacks of, I am not prepared for this and I'm just fucking rolling the dice. And I admire it, the courage, but like, if you're gonna do this, you have to take it as seriously as a man like Anthony Joshua deserves to be taken. And a couple of weeks of sparring, you know, a few heavyweights, that ain't serious enough for me. I've interviewed Tom Aspinall. He exclusively trains with heavyweights because he's in the heavyweight division year round. And he says heavyweight fighting, it's a different sport almost, because the consequences of making a mistake are so much more diabolical that you have to train differently. And a quick turnaround like this, I mean, like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take AJ. If I was his advisors, I'd be like, look, if you insist on fucking doing this nonsense, because this is crazy, we're gonna take a good 6 to 12 months solid training with heavyweights. We're gonna fucking make sure that you are strong. You can't pivot from fighting a 135 pounder to a 245 pounder, my god, to 110 pound difference or something. You can't just pivot quickly like that. This needs to be systematic. We need to prepare. And the people around him, by just allowing him to just take this so quickly, obviously Jake Paul brings in a lot of money for everyone who's associated with him. I just can't think they're giving him good advice. And unfortunately, you know, when you're in the situation where you're the money man, backslap as an arse.
Simon Jordan delivers a harsh critique of Jake Paul's approach. He compares Jake to Wile E. Coyote, suggesting that his confidence has pushed him into a situation he cannot escape. Jordan believes that hype and spectacle will not protect Jake this time. Against someone like Joshua, past tactics will not work. Once the fight begins, reality will replace promotion. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.